On the Court podcast with your host, Jay Dimes, with my little bro, Giannis, where we talk NBA basketball, everything basketball. I need everybody to go to that YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Make sure you get them subscriptions up. We are almost to our subscription mark to where we do our giveaway. Also, make sure you get these That's Game shirts. Holla at me. You feel me? If you want a That's Game shirt. Also, you can check that out in the Can't Trick video with my boy D-Boy the Mac. Also, you can check us out on TikTok and on Facebook and on Twitter. We everywhere we need to be. You feel me? With all that being said, sorry for the slight delay. What we got going on, bro?
So we're actually going to get into what we feel like could be some of the worst second options in NBA history. We got to touch on this Bron and Stephen A. Or debacle that's been going on for a couple of days now.
What's up, General? What's up, Scott? Hey, Lionel. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
We're also going to give player advice, things that we feel like NBA players should do or should know, and what actions they should take. We're going to talk about the Damian injury, and we're going to start the show off with breaking news from a couple of days ago. It's the firing of Taylor Jenkins. Taylor Jenkins is the Memphis Grizzlies head coach, the most winningest coach in Memphis Grizzlies history. Been with them for 6 years. Now they got 8, maybe 7 games now before the playoffs start. Have you recall any coach being fired right before the playoffs like this, bro?
No, actually I haven't. And from what I was doing my little research on, it's kind of like unprecedented.
Yeah.
That something like this happens. But also with my research, I also learned some things. He had lost the locker room a long time ago, apparently, according to some reports. Also, they were trying to change the offense to not be so Ja Morant centric, and it was some pushback from Taylor. So the GMs went and made him fire his assistant coaches, and essentially when this season started, they picked his assistants
Yeah.
because of what they can do so far as creating the offense to maybe free up some more of the other players, so everything won't be on job back. So throughout this season, it's been some pushback because Taylor wanted to go back to the offense that they were running, even though with the new offense they were winning more. Ja, of course, wanted the ball back in his hands and wanted to go back to the old offense. So it was kind of up and down. They were losing games, winning games and stuff with the old offense, but the GMs and owners of the team wanted to see more consistency so far as beating teams that are over 500. Because for the last couple of seasons, the coach has had issues beating all the good teams. He can beat up on all the bad teams, but all the good teams, he's not beating. So when they were using the other offense, some of the games they had against some of the better teams, the offense was working using the offense that they told him he had to run. So along with losing the locker room, because I felt like it was pushback because the locker room felt like he didn't have enough power to change, and sometimes you can get pushback from the locker room from that. It don't necessarily have to be a personal issue with the players, or just see that you don't have no power. So me coming to you with an issue doesn't do anything for me. So it's like, why would I come to you when I know nothing you can essentially can't do anything about it, because the GMs are overriding everything you're saying. So with all that being said, it's not that surprising that he got fired.
I just think that sort of thing usually take care of in the off season, or earlier in the season. Now, Memphis Grizzlies did go on a winning streak before the NBA All-Star break, 10 of 11 games. So they, and I want to say that was that before the offense was implemented from the front office, or was that after?
No, the offense that's been implemented has been from the gate.
from the
Like
gate.
I said, they
Okay.
replaced the whole staff from at the beginning of the season, so they basically
Okay.
this offense. So it's I think you would have to know the team play by play to know when we saw a shift in the offense.
Yeah.
But some of the reports said I think during that streak they were running the offense that the coaches were drawing up.
What Boston Celtics. This is how you fire a coach. Uh, it just every time a coach is let go, I think back to the Ime Udoka situation, and it just seemed like they tried to embarrass the dude on his way out. But Taylor Jenkins, even though it is quite embarrassing to be fired right before the goddamn playoffs, they said nothing but nice things about him as far as like in the media.
Mm-hmm.
And I do wonder, will we hear later on more about why they felt like they needed to let him go right before the playoffs? It's just very, very odd to me.
Well,
Um,
somebody was saying that Josh seems kind of pissed off about it, um, and I hear what you're saying, but I think that's more of a personal thing. Like he really liked him so far as a man and stuff like that. But unfortunately, we're in the business of making money. Winning makes money. If they
mhm.
feel like the offense is going to help them beat these teams that they need to beat in the playoffs because the stats that were given to me, he really is having an issue beating these better teams. In the position that they going in so far as the proceeding, they're going to be playing a lot of good teams early. So I'm thinking it's because they want to try to get on track now before the season's over, so they can go into the playoffs with a clear idea exactly what we're running. It ain't gonna be no back and forth. It ain't gonna be no no outside drama because that's of course it's gonna start to leak over into the media, and it's gonna be more about the issues with Taylor and the GMs instead of the playoff games and what's coming up next. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah,
I feel like it was more of a combination of things. Let's just get this out the way, weather the storm before the playoffs start. And then, but what they don't know is if they lose bad, it's gonna be all bad still
it's
in
gonna be all bad.
the
It's gonna
like.
be all bad. Uh
Well,
huh.
I pray for the coach. Well, from what they were saying, the coach is kind of like one of the dudes, the interim coach that they had come.
Yeah.
He was sought after by a couple of teams. He's supposed to be one of them offensive guy thinker type dudes. So we'll see. We'll see. Anytime your star is complaining about not getting the ball enough, that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I do see Taylor Jenkins bouncing back almost immediately. Yeah, he is a sought after coach, and it makes me wonder about Ja and
His
um
future,
and no, their other star, their big
Manny
man.
or Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson. I just wonder, are they going to stay in Memphis after this? Because this is interesting. Now, on to other news. Damian Lillard is out indefinitely with I'm sorry. He was diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis, which is a blood clot in his right calf. This is the same injury that Victor Wembanyama is going to be out with for 6 months. So Victor caught it in his shoulder, and there were a couple of other stars. One of the Thompson twins
Hmm.
also had this injury last year, and Brandon Ingram. I didn't really hear about this injury until recently with these players, and I didn't get a chance to really look up the history to see if anybody else had been going through this before these current players.
Hmm.
These are odd ass injuries, man. What do you make of it? This
I'm
injury.
feeling like it's the plane rides. Having to sit in one place, you 6 feet tall and you crumbled up in the area and stuff for a certain amount of time, your blood flow get cut off. Like I think I think Heavy D or somebody he had never read a plane. He had never rode on a plane ever
Uh-huh.
his whole rap career. And the first time um, he flew to London on like a long, like 4 or 5 hour trip, he got a blood clot, and
Wow.
that, essentially that's what ended up killing him. So um, that makes me wonder. I'm no doctor. I probably don't. Neither one might not have to do with the two, but when I see it in positions like, you can imagine Wemby being, what I'm saying, in the crump space in the plane, and then you got dang, legs up and stuff. I don't know how they ride. I don't know if they like got the recliner seats or whatever, but from what I hear, they like just regular planes. So I don't know. They might have extra room because the team planes might be built different. I don't know, but it's just weird. It's scary. It's
It
very
is,
scary.
man. It
Because
is.
the kind of these kind of things where you can't see it coming or don't notice it coming. There's like no it's nothing to tell you, like your body ain't talking to you. It's nothing like, hey, your leg is starting to hurt, maybe you should get your leg checked out, or your chest is starting to hurt or something, or maybe there is and they didn't check it soon enough, you know what I mean? But when you're a player and you out, everything hurt, so you don't know if this because I'm sore, or it's because I got elbowed that night, or you know what I mean, and it could just be something, uh
Uh, so the little bit of
hold
reading I
on,
did do
hold
is,
on, sorry, I mean cut you off, but my fiance said hard contact or poor circulation in the blood, narrowing of the veins. So, like I was
yeah,
saying, with the playing stuff, like you going through a bunch of contact in the game, and then you go sit down and you're in a cramped space. I wouldn't imagine that's good. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. No, I was actually going to make the same comments. For the little bit of reading I did do was repetitive motions, poor blood circulation, and the third reason that she gave. So yeah, she's pretty accurate with that. It it just sucks because that was, of course, I'm a Warrior fan, but my favorite player is Damian Lillard. So I was watching a lot of the Milwaukee Bucks, and it's just it's the second season now where it's just because of injury, because of coaching, because of defense, it's not turning out how I want it to go,
I,
and
I
it just
don't think
kind of sucks.
I don't think that it's turning out the way anybody because we even predicted this is like maybe a finals team. If you look at how
Man,
they constructed when they first got them, and being that same team they had during their season, the season when they won the championship, all they did was pretty much got better. That's what everybody thought happened, and essentially it's been the opposite, like you say, with coaching and injuries and stuff like that. So I'm more disappointed for him because I thought this was going to be his chance to
exactly.
really, really close to either playing in the finals or getting closer than he's been since he's got Portland to the excuse me, Western Conference Finals. So I was hoping that we would see a Dame Lillard, SGA, or a Dame Lillard, LeBron, or a Dame Lillard, or somebody, whoever in the or the
And the
Warriors.
Warriors,
Yeah,
yeah, that would have been crazy.
yeah, Oakland native come back to the Bay every time the Warriors played at home. That would have been fire. You know what I mean? Like just any of that, just to see him in the playoffs in the finals would have been dope. So now we got to go back a whole. You got to wait to whole next season, and Leon
Yeah,
is probably like
right.
because
And that's
he finna start deep in this. He finna start doing this. So let me go get 2 or 3. Let me, LeBron. Hey, before you leave.
oh man, or
Sir,
Steph, what's up, man?
me,
Hey,
you, Luca.
me.
A quick run right now. You know what I'm saying?
250, 275, like you said.
Yeah. Like, you feel me? Shoot. At that point, he might be like, I don't need money. Just pay me 60 mil.
I'm
Get two
saying,
before you
man.
out.
I wanted to see Dame in a goddamn championship game. I wanted to see this in a championship game. He's a,
Yeah.
just big time show stopping player. And right now he was averaging 36 minutes a game, scoring 20, averaging 25.7 assists and 5 rebounds. That's gonna honestly, I feel like that's gonna derail the Milwaukee Bucks season, but we shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Now, um, uh, let's get into this whole Stephen A. and Bron back and forth. I, I've spent this week online going back and forth with everybody, with friends, with family, with strangers. So I got a lot to say about it.
Hmm.
But so I'm gonna give you your opportunity first, man. What's your perspective? How you feel about it? Who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? Where's your mind at with this whole thing?
Okay. I think I said a little bit of it in the last episode or maybe the previous episode because it's been going on for a while. Let me get this out.
Yeah. So
I'm on.
just to,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just about to say, just to start off the last episode, we just saw Brian approach Stephen A.
Okay.
But since that episode, we hadn't seen him go on the podcast. We hadn't seen Stephen A. fire back on ESPN. We didn't see Brown on the Pat McAfee show. So where your head at now with it?
Okay. I'm getting a couple of things from this. Okay. First thing I'm gonna say, I gotta get the stupid stuff out of the way. LeBron petty. LeBron is petty as hell. Petty, bro.
Petty?
He put up that clips of Stephen A. with the yo, Brian. That's what yo. I didn't know he was. No, I did. I knew he was petty. I knew he was petty. Dude is homeless because he hit his wife. So I mean, he hit his mom. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He was not hit physically, but like hit, like you know what I'm saying? His mom, but now the dude is homeless. So, don't get more pettier than that. But I'm with Stephen A. on this.
Okay.
So I went back in the archives, watched the videos and stuff, and me and him have the same ideals on what LeBron did so far in the father sense. Now, just like Stephen A., I want to make something 100% clear. LeBron as a person and as a father, role model type, I love him. His family, the way he is around his family, the way he raised his kids, they are great kids, good people, and everything. Now I got that out the way. And matter of fact, him and Savannah, that's me and wifey couple goals. When we watched the starting five or whatever, I was like, I like their relationship. They dope. I like that. You feel
Mhm.
me? So on that level, I respect him. Now, basketball world, father, you bestowed a lot of pressure on, bro. You set him
Mhm.
up to have to achieve something no matter what because you want something to go your way. You, you want him to play before you leave. So from the gate, you put him on a pedestal that he had to reach regardless. He had to get to the NBA. Now, I want to make something clear. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's like 1,000,001 to me to make it in the NBA. And from the gate, the moment he knew that Bronny was focusing on playing basketball, he said it off top. I want to play with my son before I retire. You put a lot of pressure on Bronny, and that's your son. Your son ain't gonna walk up to you and be like, "Dad, I am feeling a lot of pressure. I don't like the fact that you went out there and said that. I don't like the fact that you went out there and did that. You know what I mean? Because, that puts a lot on me to have to achieve these goals that you want to achieve, you know? Not to mention you saying I'm better than half the league in the NBA. I'm better than half the players in the NBA. I'm ready right now and stuff. When nothing throughout his high school career, it was even debates and question about his All American status, just because his stats didn't match the All Americans at the moment. So it's like how much of your influence carried him up to the game, carried him up to the point where he is more than what his game is and game did. And all I'm saying in the fatherly sense, from being a father, raising girls and stuff, when you put that type of pressure on them, they're going to want to achieve it. So it's nothing wrong with having these goals for your child, but when you pretty much then cemented that he has to do it, it's a different type of pressure, and that's where we at now. Like, of course, everybody's going to scrutinize every move because of all the things you did. You told teams that they want to pick him. If you pick him, you can get me. You was telling teams, even teams were showing respect not to pick him so you can play with you, Warriors. It was a couple of things that went down that just sounded out of pocket for you to get your son there. And then so when you do all these things right in the face to everybody, of course it's going to be a different type of scrutinization when we talk about your son, because now him you've helped him get to a point where now he has to prove himself. He has to, because
Mm-hmm.
all the levels and everything, the extremes you took to get him here, he's in a position where he has to, and everything is going to be more scrutinized because of who he is,
Yeah,
because
under a
you know what I'm saying. So essentially, as a father, you place a lot on your son, which is unfair. As a father, that's unfair. And that's all I'm saying. That's from living with a child who gets great grades and she can go anywhere she wants. And I want her to do certain things, but she like, Dad, I want to do it like this. So I have to respect that. But my children have an open floor to say how they feel and stuff like that without having to feel like I'm going to flash or I'm going to make them do things. You know what I mean? So some of that is in the back of his mind too. I don't want to tell my dad I don't want to do this because I don't want him to look at me a certain way. You know what I mean? So you kind of like boxed in as a child to to meet these goals. Plus, you got to worry about your dad is the number one guy. He's not number two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. He's the number one guy that's always got eyes on him. So essentially, you're gonna have the same eyes on you. So to go back to what LeBron did, that was some sucker. That was a sucker move. That was a sucker move, because when I did go back and look at what he said, Stephen A said the same thing I'm saying. He didn't say nothing about how you raising your child or how you treating your child. Are you a bad father? He said in the basketball world, you put a lot of pressure on your son, and that was a bad fatherly move. And I didn't see no issue with that. And that sucker stuff he moved when he walked up on him in the game and stuff. It's like, come on, bro. Like, come on. And then you want to say it's a dual recording. When he about to walk, he looked right at the camera, like he saw what was going on. He saw somebody was recording that interaction they was having. Then he says that Stephen A goes on a tour and essentially goes on McAfee and does the same thing. So you're putting yourself in the position to make this keep going too. So you trying to steady put on him. It's Stephen A's job to talk about this. What do you think he's going to do? You think he's going to not take this content and run with it? So for you to complain that he's even trying to run with the content, you created it.
mm.
So you know what I mean. I don't like the moves that he's making. Like I said, I didn't know he was so petty. I thought he would be more mature in the way that he handles the media. I feel like it's like a mad little boy syndrome out of this somewhere. That's what I'm getting from him. So
A lot of valid points there, bro. Whether I agree or disagree, they valid points. Uh, and that's where I'm gonna start. Um, Secondly, Stephen A. Smith is one of the sports personalities that historically, I've watched, I've learned from, and about 90 to 95% of his takes I actually agreed with throughout my history and watching him with Skip and before he had his own show and his podcast and so on and so on. That being said, these last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, even they've been pissing me off. I think he a liar. Matter of fact, I know he a liar. He full of shit and he disingenuous. Okay. He's been on record 3 or 4 times saying that I don't know what LeBron's problem is. I have no problems with the guy at all. You know, I just think I don't know why he doesn't mention me or want to talk to me, but you know, I don't. If it's just my only take is Michael Jordan's number 1, he's number 2. That's all I've said. But I have no problem with the guy. I have no problem with the guy. Well, I'm gonna find out on first take. He just said I don't like him, and I never have. So that when he says that, and you think about all of his takes in the past on why he said the things he said, it makes it all invalid because you've never liked this guy. If I'm talking about a guy that I've never liked, that means I have a hidden agenda, which makes you disingenuous, no matter if you were speaking facts or not, because you got to wonder where that's all coming from. Okay, so he's a liar because LeBron has actually never said, I think Bronny is going to be better than half the NBA. I have the exact quote on what he said right here. He said, man, Bronny is definitely better than some of the guys I've been watching today on League Pass. That's what he said. He never said that Bronny is better than half of the NBA, but that's what Stephen A. said. Hold on. Let me finish.
Okay.
He said that Bronny is better than half some of the guys I'm seeing on League Pass. Where in the hell does Stephen A. get half the NBA from? But because he said it, everyone else is saying that now, which added pressure onto Bronny to be better than half the NBA. And I'm not excusing some of the statements Bron said, but Stephen A. is lying. He also lied about saying that LeBron James wasn't at Kobe Memorial. Well, there's a video of Diana Taurasi pointing at LeBron James and making a statement to him while Bron is sitting there with his hoodie up, crying, watching Kobe Memorial. Third, he also, and I say he's full of shit because he asked why wasn't he at D-Wade Hall of Fame induction. Well, that was the same time Bronny had just had his cardiac arrest or around that time. So for you to make it personal like that, lie about it, be disingenuous in your whole history of talking about this guy, and hitting that, like it made me look at Stephen A. differently because he's come up with this agenda of his, and he's playing victim. And the whole time you didn't like this guy, you telling lies about him, and you've been disingenuous from the jump. Now, these statements from Stephen A., because Stephen A. also said, all I ever said was he didn't belong in the NBA. It's not like I called him trash. If I'm talking, if you're raising a kid, right, and you got aspirations for them, and I say, we love what we're seeing from him, but his ass belongs in the G League. That's all I'm saying. He belongs in the G League. You know what this would do to others and them missing opportunities because he doesn't belong. He's taking up a roster spot that you give it to him, and he's getting the first quarter minutes. What a shame. And That's right. The only reason why Bronny is in the NBA is because of his father. It's not merit based. That's four different ways you just called that boy trash. That's four different ways you just called my son trash. Now you're Stephen A. Smith, the loudest mouth in all the media. You're on ESPN. You have the number one show in all of America. And if you say these things, a couple 100 million other people is going to say the same thing because you said it. And that makes, again, that goes back to him not liking this guy being disingenuous this whole time. This whole time. Now, that takes away that Bronny was ranked number 13 by ESPN. That takes away he was a McDonald's All-American. That takes away he led the number one high school in the country to almost to the state title. He got eliminated in the playoffs. He was a four-star athlete. He was a number 3 point guard in the country. And the claim that LeBron James made, going back to the beginning now, that my son is better than some of these guys I'm watching on League Pass today. Well, he said that before his cardiac arrest. So he said that, and then Bronny catches a heart attack, and now he's trying to bounce back from that. Now, on the Pat McAfee show, Bron goes in to tell how one of his friends that he used to hoop with also had a heart attack, and he was like, he never picked up a basketball again. He was like, it took him 3 years to even feel normal. Bronny got back out there in a couple months, and now he's actually doing pretty good. Dropped 17, 5, and 4 in the NBA game. Had 39 in the G League game. He's headed in the right direction. I feel differently about Stephen A. Smith than I once did, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
I feel you. I feel you. Like I said, I sent you a couple of clips and stuff.
I watched it. I watched it.
And like I
I
said,
watched it.
one thing that really hit me was the Gill show when they asked the whole room, what is the top 15? Can you tell me what the top 15 players scored in the first round? Who was the first 15? What was the point? What was their stat line? And nobody could tell nobody nothing because nobody paying attention to the people that got drafted in the first round because everything is about Bronny.
The
Somebody
55th pick.
in that lane. He ain't even in the league, but that's who we talking about.
Shit. When he was asking about it,
Right.
yeah, you're right. You're right. And a guy like me, yeah, I've been paying attention to the number one pick, but I bet Stephen A. couldn't tell you what the number one pick is averaging or how he's doing for the Atlanta Hogs. Has he been doing anything at all? Because there's clearly some sort of agenda there that on a guy he didn't like. and
I think that works both ways. I
What's
don't
up?
think that you can just put that on Stephen A. I think LeBron has showed little pissy ways to make Stephen A. not like him. And another thing, he calls him on his bull, and nobody at that high of level wants to be called on a bull. I don't care who you are. And I think sometimes it creates an atmosphere of where you don't like each other because I've lost friends. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. I'm a realist. I'm a dude. If you're a guy or somebody, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about you. I'm gonna tell you
Yeah,
what you did. You know this. You know you my brother. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
of
And
course.
I'm sure that I've lost friends and people don't. I'm not the first person to call or something like that. But I don't care because you're a man. If you were a chick, I would maybe dial it back a little bit. But
Right.
as a
Okay.
man, if I can't tell you doing some weak stuff or you trash or something like that, and you can't accept it as a man, then what are we talking about? And this is what I get from your boy. Your boy gets this vibe off. Nobody's supposed to think or say nothing to him or do nothing to him or think opposite of what all the witnesses think, and it's a problem. Dude, your son is trash. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Your son is not an NBA player. There's nothing wrong with that. Yet he should have stayed where he was at a little while longer since your ass ended up staying and you knew you wasn't gonna leave. He knew. LeBron knows his body. He knew he's gonna stick around for another 2 years. So why didn't you let your son? You trying to create moments because everything is about moments for him. You know what I'm saying? All these records and everything is about moments for him to so he can try to put himself on a pedestal that he's never gonna get, bro. You're never gonna be GOAT in everybody's eyes, bro. Not as long as Jordan breathe the breath, you will never be the GOAT. So let it go. You know what I'm saying? You taking these personal attacks out on people who's telling you what's real. It's bull. I get
Okay.
a high school All-American, I get all this stuff, but none of his achievements were the type of achievements. He wasn't 5-star. He wasn't the best scorer on his team. And they lost more than 2 state championships. It wasn't like it was just that one. Both years they didn't get close to it. So
All right.
it's like when we look at the players prior to him that we hold in high regards, these dudes are winning high school championships.
Not
These dudes are coming
all of them.
5 stars and stuff. And I'm not
Not
saying
all of
all
them.
of them. I'm not saying
Mhm.
all of them. I'm talking about like the Zions and stuff like that.
Mhm.
These dudes are high school championships, the worthy of the attention and stuff that they get just from being raw, not for being somebody's son. And,
Okay. So
and
you, you started this off saying, I know you. And as a man, you've lost friends because you say how you feel, whether
mm-hmm,
it be good or bad. I ain't gonna
mm-hmm.
whisper it to you. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I'm gonna say it loud. And if you still rock with me after that, good. We better for it because you know exactly where I stand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this MF for Stephen A ain't been doing that. Ain't been doing that for 10 to 15 years. Don't that make you kind of cowardly? Don't that make you something different than a man? Don't that I'm gonna stand 10 toes down and I'm gonna let you know exactly how I feel so you know exactly where I'm coming from.
But wait a minute though. He's not just attacking him though. He said a blanket statement. He didn't just when he said the way that he said the way you guys are covering the sport. He didn't just say directly him when he said that. Then whatchamacallit, the way they are covering the sports. He even hit up Windhorse and stuff with his little snarky remarks about him when we know Windhorse is good peeps. You feel me?
When
Also
horse is good
somebody
peeps.
else, also somebody else who calls it like he sees it with LeBron.
Yeah,
You
but
feel me? And it's
I'm
funny.
just
I understand what you're saying about CNA, but it's
mhm.
also funny that LeBron has problems with people who call it like they see it.
Because Draymond Green called it like he said, and they've been
That's
rocking ever
because he's
since. They
afraid of
haven't
Dray.
even had spats. Even
He's scared of
Ernie,
Draymond.
even Ernie from TNT, like they are friends, like for real. So Brian, when he saw him, now again, Brian had his team reach out to Stephen A. before Brian actually walked up on him at a game. And Stephen A. played it off and actually made fun of him on his podcast. So when Brian saw him, like Stephen A. said, like he asked for, man, y'all see me at the games. Y'all could have said something at the game. He said that about Kyrie. He said that about a couple of other players that eludes me right now. But he said this 3, 4, 5, 6 times. You see me at the game. How come you didn't say nothing then? Okay, well, hey, I'm doing what you asked for. I saw you, I said something, and you know exactly how I feel. But uh we need to get into the next subject. Let's talk about
The worst second options. Or you want to talk about
yeah,
maybe you want to say some
yeah.
advice.
Let's get into the worst second
Oh,
options.
oh.
Oh, but the player advice though. No, I want to talk about player advice. I want to talk
This is about to be funny. This is about to be
player.
funny.
player.
This is about to
I'm
be
a
not this segment, but the one we was about to do. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
player advice, real
Yep.
quick, real quick. I just want to talk about my player advice for me is actually for Trey Young.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Young, my player advice to you is I actually think you should stay in Atlanta. There's been a lot of talks, a lot of rumors going on about where you want to go and maybe exiting Atlanta because of what's going on. with the team and the up and down rosters and the transition of coaches and so on and so on. Dude, the Atlanta Hawks is your team. I think for the most part, if they do it as you please, you get to play your style of basketball. You get paid for it, a lot of money. You got your own shoe there, and it's Atlanta, Georgia. It's live there, man. I think you should stay there. I don't think you should maybe consider recruiting other stars to come join you there. But if I were you, I think you should play out your career in Atlanta and get you a statue outside the arena, get your jersey in the rafters for the Atlanta Hawks. I think you're really, really important to that market, and I don't think you should leave. Who you got player advice for?
My player advice is for the obvious. Luka
Luka.
Doncic. You need to mirror whatever. Two things. First thing, you need to mirror whatever LeBron is doing this summer to keep his body in shape. You should take off. Don't go home this summer. Don't go out to wherever you from and stuff and go have beers and stuff with your bro and all that stuff. You should go to where LeBron is go get an apartment, condo, whatever, hotel close to him or wherever his trainer is, and him and Bronny should follow each other for the whole summer, and you guys should do whatever LeBron does to make him look like that at 40. That's my first advice to you. You know what I mean? Because I believe if you get yourself in that kind of shape, you could probably be the best player at your position ever. Second advice,
Wow.
get you a defensive coach. That's the second thing you should be doing. When you're not working out and working on your body, you should be working on your defensive strategy, your defensive footwork, your defensive technique, how to use your body when you get beat, just learning how to strip the ball, learning how to play the lane if you can't sit down in the chair. Because you are a liability, dog. You are somebody that can give you 30, but get scored 30 on. You are getting sham God by foreigners, bro. What are we doing? What are we
What are
doing?
we doing? What are
What
we doing?
bro? You are the sole reason why the Lakers might lose this playoffs.
He don't know what to do
Um,
with his hands. That's
uh,
all. He don't know what to do with his hands. He
like
just don't know what to do with his hands.
seriously, you could be the sole reason why the Lakers lose the playoffs. And the crazy part is, you can be the sole reason why they win too, because of your offense. But your defense, when you start to go deeper in the rounds, become more dangerous. When people can pick you up, pick you out, and get you to draw down on picks to where you have to guard the guy with the ball, the Lakers are in trouble. We've seen it. It's been happening in the last couple of games. Your defensive mental lapses. That's why you've been losing these buzzer beaters and stuff. It's all defensive things. Please, Luka, my player advice to you is to hook up with LeBron, get your weight right,
Pause.
and hook up with a defensive coach and work on your defense, bro. You are
Mm.
this close to being one of the greatest players ever, bro. You just gotta learn how to play a little defense, just enough to where defenders are a little scared of you, because nobody's scared of you. Not even the 6'7" dude on the bench. It's like, oh, look at guarding me. Oh, blenders. I already know. I will be. It'll be blender time. Anytime you got in front of me, because them TP. Yeah, I swear to God, you be on your pockets every time you will get in front of this crossover. I will put you on your pockets. I promise. Oh, yeah, I withdraw that screen. Switch, get that switch over here. Get that switch. Oh, look in front of me. Wop, 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 wop. It'll be over every time. Every time. So, bruh, that's my player advice, man.
Uh, Player advice. Bronny James. Um, Turn off your phone. Turn off the TV.
Just play video games, huh?
Get away from media. Keep your head down and keep grinding. Listen to your father. Uh, Listen to Luka Doncic. Listen to Coach JJ.
Don't listen to Luka.
He got something to teach on offense at least, and grind, man. This whole off season, man. Prove, prove your doubters wrong. I and I and I'm pretty sure your father's already told you that, but I just want you to. He mentioned a comment that he hears and sees what people say about him, and they act like he's a robot. Man, put your phone down. Put it down. Turn off the TV and stay your ass in the gym. Don't leave the gym. Don't leave the gym. Grind, 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 and come back and prove your haters wrong, man. And when you do it, still don't even turn on the TV. Don't turn on your phone. Have a couple emergency contacts. Matter of fact, get you a little Getro phone from early 2000 where you can't even get online, and and grind your heart out, man. Play, prove us, prove
Well,
that people who love you right, prove your doubters wrong.
well, yeah, player advice, man. Please put leave it on the court on your mirror as one of them people you want to prove wrong. Please, Jay Don should leave it on the court. I don't like that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just good night because he said something. Please, my advice to you: put us on the wall because I ain't gonna stop until I see you do what I need to see you do. I'm on that ass. Pause. Promise you.
Tackling
And,
few. Use it
and
as tackling few.
the second day, Paul George retired. Quit. Get your ass up out of here. Quit. Paul George, get your ass up out of here. Go sit down somewhere and do a podcast. You become podcast P. Do the podcast P. And just sit down somewhere and do a podcast. You stealing money
Oh my God. So
for the segue.
that being said, let's start it off with the worst second options in some of the NBA history.
Okay.
Watch Paul George retired.
Because at number one,
At
the
number one.
the worst second option in basketball, Paul George. Like, bruh, like, seriously, I don't care how many points you score. Yeah, he averaged 27, 29, 28, and all this shit. What did it do? What has it done? Has it helped? Has they got this close? What about that close? Bro, dude is the worst second option ever. Like from the trade to OKC where they didn't do nothing, from the trade to the Clippers where they didn't do nothing, and now to the Philadelphia 76ers where he has totally disappeared. He had a span where he averaged almost like 2 points or 3 points. Like, bruh, he is the worst. I know it's going to be some pushback from this because there's a lot of Paul George fans, but I don't care. Dude is not a good second option. He is a third option at best. At best, the guy that can save the day when everybody else ain't hot. But to make him the other guy is proven. He's had a long career. We have a long sample size of it. He is the worst second option. And when we say second option, meaning the guy that you go to next when the first option is down. He has yet. We done seen the dude shoot shots off the side of the basket. We done seen after he done called himself playoff P. Playoff P is about to come and then boing off the side. Bruh, bruh. He is the worst second option ever. He and he's also single handedly destroyed teams from trades.
He has. He has. Um, yeah, and he spent a lot of time being the second option in OKC, and now in Philly, injury riddled guy. My one of my worst second options in NBA history for me is going to be Julius Randle with the New York Knicks. Julius Randle had to be benched the entire fourth quarter in the playoffs because of his shooting splits. This dude for the entire series, um, had he averaged 14 points after averaging 27 during the regular season. He was shooting 23% from the 3-point line after shooting 33% in the regular season.
Mm.
He shot 32% from the field after shooting 53 from the field in the regular season, with 7 rebounds and 2 assists. So what makes him out one of the worst second options in NBA history is typically ball players know for the postseason, you're supposed to step it up. Your game's supposed to elevate in the postseason. But the New York Knicks didn't advance because of his ass. Because of the numbers I just read out to you. And I mean, they were balling.
Yeah.
So had he done his part as a second option, maybe we having a different conversation right now about the New York Knicks and their droughts that's been going on. Who else you got as a bad second option?
I think this is the third guy.
Yeah, third guy.
Mo Williams.
Ooh-wee.
We gonna go back to the 2000s, yo. Early 2000, like what's that, 5, 6 or something like that, or 7 or 8 when he came to the Cavaliers or something like that.
Yeah,
This dude made an all-star team, averaged 20 a game every regular season. They made the playoffs and literally dropped how many points? Maybe 14, 15 a game, maybe in the playoffs. Like his and like it was so noticeable that they were talking about it. Like it's bad when they like, where is Mo Williams? It was like on some where is Waldo type. Like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
he,
buddy.
and he never had a game. I think maybe one game. I have to go and do my research where we were like, oh, there you go. And then after that, it was like, where's Waldo again? Like, this dude would consistently have great regular seasons, and in the playoffs would not become the guy that he should have been. And he let another dude that just shoot threes take his spot. Because everybody remembered Damian
David
Jones
Jones.
coming in, pretty much saving the day, playing in his position because of how trash this dude would play in the playoffs. Like, he had a dude that was way down at the end of the bench come in and essentially become a star. Because for a minute, people was loving Damon. Damon Jones went to Miami. He got a contract off your trash ass, and we want to keep it above.
So Mo Williams actually averaged. He went down from averaging 22 points during the regular season down to averaging only 13 points
That's what I'm
for the
saying.
playoffs.
And that's just
Wow.
off the top of my head. I don't even know like that. I knew it was drastic, but just off the top of my head, I knew because and that was the Cavs team that was posing on the sideline and stuff when they was whooping everybody. And doing the picture thing. So I was like, oh, this squad finna be killing fools in the playoffs. And then they had Mo. He made he was an all-star reserve one year because he was killing so hard. So he was just right there. But since he's not a big name player, he didn't actually make the first team on the starters or anything on the reserves. But once somebody got hurt, he was the first one up. That's how much he was killing. And get to the playoffs and you drop the third. Wow. I gave him love. I said 15, 6, 14, 15, 13. And they probably be
13.
nice. That means he had one 20-point game, and the rest of the games he scored like 12 and 7 and 12 again or something. Like, bruh. Like, bro, what are we doing? What
What
are
are
we
we,
doing? And like,
what are
literally,
we
he
doing?
was the second option. Everybody might say Ilgauskas because Ilgauskas was up in the upper 21s or something like that. But everybody know, like, his feet were messing up and he was slow. But the guy that was putting up the points, the other guy that was putting up the points was LeBron. And I think we had a little sprinkle of Zerbiak, a little sprinkle of Jameson or something. I think he was a part of those teams and stuff too. But yeah, and then he would get cooked on offense. Gilbert used to. I don't even think he knew he was there.
Nah, nah,
When
nah.
when Washington would play Cleveland, they had a guard rotation because he would cook everybody.
And he was averaging 38 minutes a game in the playoffs, man. 38 minutes, and one playoff he did average 16. The next playoff he averaged 13.4, man. So and these are on 38 minutes, 37 minutes a night,
Mm-hmm.
bruh.
Second option minutes, man. Like for real. I know, like I say, it's a lot of people gonna be like, he wasn't a second option, but in our eyes, in them regular season, he was the other guy.
You make the goddamn All-Star team, and you averaging 22 during the regular season. Well, you the second option.
Yeah.
Brown was like, help me. I know it. Golly. Fourth worst second option. Rudy Gobert.
Oh my God, this guy.
My dog. Look, I don't even need to look up stats to tell you how bad of a second option Rudy Gobert. Matter of
Especially in
fact,
Utah, not as much in Minnesota because I wouldn't really consider him the second
yeah,
option.
second option.
But
But no, we talking Utah
Utah,
here,
oh my
bro.
God.
Donovan Mitchell. Poor Donovan Mitchell.
Help
Poor
me.
Donovan, bruh.
Like, bruh.
He going back and forth with his name is losing right now, the guard from Denver. And he's dropping 45, 50, 43, 48. Like if I'm why are we not winning if I'm doing this?
You the defensive player of the year, but you out all the fourth quarter.
You gotta be set the whole
You
fourth quarter. You
the
gotta be taking
defensive
off the
player of the
clothes.
year. We gotta change our starting lineup because you can't keep up with nobody.
You the defensive player of the year though. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Like
I,
they make defensive stuff. They put players like you in the game. Not
oh my God. Rudy Gobert used to
usually if
piss
you're a
me off.
defensive guy, you don't get took out the game. Okay, so for our viewers, you know what I'm saying, that don't know. When you are defensive player of the year, you don't come out the game. You don't
You're
come
not supposed to.
game, bro, at any position because during the regular season, I mean, you were guarding everybody. That means the small teams, the big teams, you stopping everything. You are in a stifle tower. There's no reason why we get in the playoffs and people like, oh shit, we gotta bench this dude. You can't shoot free throws. You can't catch an alley. You ain't got a jump hook. Your jumper looked like Cartwright's but broker. Like I don't know what to say about your offense though. You just look uncourt. What to do with my hands? I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't
I
know.
don't
I don't
know.
know.
He like more like what I do with my body. I don't know what to do with my body. I don't
This
on offense.
this dude is the only defensive player of the year that I know that players on the opposite end want to switch for you.
Yeah.
Like I call the screen so Rudy Gobert come and guard me.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of defensive player
Yeah. Yeah.
is
That's why people
picked
were
on
saying it's
on
suspect that he
defense?
won. That's why people were saying it was suspect that he won so many. Because I like to think of defensive players that when I think of defensive players of the year, like they essentially do it off blocks. That's what I'm looking at, right?
Right.
But I feel like the defensive player of the year is more of a Rodman type dude, just a net, just you know what I'm saying. That dude that can come and your best player still might score 25, but it was the roughest 25 he ever scored in a long time. Like I like the Tony Allens and stuff like that.
Draymond Green,
Yeah,
how he just held Giannis to his lowest field goal percentage of the season. Yeah.
yeah, like people like that. Those are defensive players of the years. It's easy to be tall and block everything that's coming to the hole. You know what I mean? Especially when it's only 3 or 4 things coming to the hole. Because mind you, nobody's coming to the basket no more. Everybody is shooting. So if they're coming 4 or 5 times a game and you just happen to get 2 out of them or 3 out of the 4 or 5 times they come to the basket, of course you're going to lead the league in blocks. Now I would give more Wemby that type of recognition because he ain't just tall and blocking shots. He is following people from the top of the key and guards chasing guards blocking threes. It's like you can see the athleticism in it. You know what I mean? More than you just standing there and if somebody if it get too close to the basket, I swat it. You know what I'm saying? But you have no like on offense, you are a null and void. Like you are a black hole, like for real. It's like we give you the ball, we know you don't know how to pass out a double team. You ain't got no post move. It's like I say, my thing with Draymond. How do you in the same locker room with the best shooters ever and don't know how to shoot?
Yeah,
Like that don't make no sense to me. How are
can
you a
shoot.
big man in the league and you got all this access to Kareem, Hakeem, Patrick, David, and you don't have no offense?
Last, who's the who's the last worst second
I
option?
forgot what the last one was. Who was on the list?
Mr. Russell Westbrook,
Oh,
bring your
okay.
ass to the
Now, look,
panel. Look, look,
now,
look, look,
look.
look.
Now, everybody about to hate me for this. Okay. I picked Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
What the Warriors did, this is what like sealed it for me. What the Warriors did to them when they snatched Durant from him after that finals. If if that don't just encapsulate how bad of a second option he is, I don't know what does. That be that close in the finals and be a guy that can damn near average a triple double, and for somebody of Durant status to be like, I can't play with this dude, I gotta go, because that's basically what he said without saying it.
Agreed.
Um, he is the man when he's by himself. When Russell is by himself, he the man. Whenever he's had to be the other guy, it doesn't go well for him. Houston, Washington, Lakers, and Clippers. It just he's not good at being the other guy. It's just some dudes that like Durant is the opposite. He don't want to be the lead guy. Westbrook wants to be the lead guy, but you got the what's the Burger King commercial with the little hands? I can't hold the burgers because my hands are too small. You got these little hands. You are a turnover magnet. You are a stat chaser. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Times you can be a little selfish and wild. You're wild. You know what I mean? You think in some teams you suck the life out of them. You know, like that Houston team, you suck the life out of that Houston team,
Mm.
and with a prime Harding. So it's like um, to me, he's a great individual player so far. If we're talking about triple doubles and him leading the team, like because he was doing great with I really didn't like the trade for Paul George and Carmelo because I felt like he needed a guy under him. He didn't need a guy that was his equal or better than him on that team because he was leading that team well without nobody. They were still going to the playoffs and stuff with Westbrook. I just think he needed a guy that was more on his equal playing field, you know, instead of a Paul George who's going to come with an inflated ego and think automatically like we see eye to eye or I'm better than you. And I felt like he kind of like subjected himself to okay, Paul, you the man, just because he wanted to fit in, but really he needed to play how he had been playing. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
another thing too, learning how to be the second guy.
Yeah.
It's hard for good players to relieve that power to
Release
somebody.
that ball. Yeah.
And when you've been
Relinquish.
that guy so long, you know, just like with that first championship with Miami, him and LeBron, D Wade and LeBron said it. D Wade was like, okay, I'm a little bit, you know, he got me a little bit with a little bit. So I have to, you know, just do younger, faster. You know what I mean? I got to give it up to him. And then that's when they started winning. And he's not that kind of guy. I don't think he's wired that way. You know, I think this version of him in Denver is the first time we saw a Russell Westbrook that's like, all right, I'm not the guy.
And he's actually doing well. So I'm just going to add just a quick statement. I just recall a social media post from me maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it came from when OKC was in the finals against Miami and when it was playing against the Warriors. And I just kept thinking to myself how selfish this dude is, because from the outside looking in, Kevin Durant was the number one guy there. Kevin Durant was also one of the best scoring threats I had ever seen. I mean, just would not miss. Russell, why are you shooting 35 shots a game if you got Kevin Durant on your team?
With no shot though, because
With
he
no
get
shot.
that dude. He ain't have no jumper for real.
What
His best shot
the
is
hell was he
that pull up
doing?
free throw. Yeah,
I
he had
just,
that pull up free throw shot.
I just could not. I was, what the hell is this dude doing? You got Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Pass him the ball, let him shoot. Matter
Mm-hmm.
of fact, you're a great passer. Set him up so he can shoot. Dog, if I just think things might have been different. It might not have been a 3-1 come from behind from the Warriors had. You just simply let Kevin Durant do it exactly what he's known for, and that's scoring the damn ball, pass the ball. And that was my only run on Westbrook, and that's what made him. That's why I agreed to put him on his list, because you were a horrible second
And we
option,
saw that
man.
in real time. We saw him literally shoot that team out of
Oh,
damn near 3 games
yeah.
straight. And I mean, I ain't gonna put it all on them,
No, of course
because
not. Of
Durant,
course
because
not.
Durant was kind of like doing what Durant do, kind of like shrinking in the moment a little bit at times.
Especially then,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Especially then,
But
yeah.
Westbrook was just a little bit too confident. You know what I mean? You know, you have a good shooting game. He hear everybody, oh, he can shoot now, didn't he? Like, all right, y'all think I can shoot? You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, he done build a brick house because he a little pig. Like a little pig in and build a brick house now. So, yeah. But anyway, though, that's been an hour. Man, we just left it on the court. I'd like to thank everybody who participated in the chat. Thank you all for joining, bro. You know what I'm saying? I love you, man. These conversations
Always glad,
with the
man.
player, man. I need everybody to go to the YouTube channel. Make sure you can catch this episode and all our episodes on YouTube anytime you're ready to watch it. Subscribe, like, and share. Hit that notification bell so you make sure you know when we drop a new video. Like I said, we are almost close to our subscription goal. So we ready to give this gift card out. I'm tired of holding on to it. Come on, man. I'm ready to give away some money.
Yes, sir.
You feel me? So also you can check us out on TikTok. You can check us out on Facebook. You can check us out on X. All those good things. And make sure you cop your That's Game shirts, man. And check me out on the That's Can't Trick video with my homeboy D-Boy the Mac. You see the merch in that also. With all that being said, man, until next Sunday, that's
Yes,
game.
sir. That's game.
You can't tell me nada. You can't tell me nada. You can't tell me nada. I'm about $1.